Hi, Alice again. So today we're going to be talking about email management. Refreshing from last time, what is the role of a VA? So in order to be an indispensable part of the team, your role is to make sure that you make your boss's life as easy as possible. And how do we do that? So a few ways. When you're going through the email inbox, always go through the whole inbox and determine the priority before jumping into answering each email. Why is this important? Because you could be on one email while new emails have already come in and you don't know that this is not the latest one. So you're answering to an old email and it's no longer a priority. So it's always good to check every single email before jumping into answering each. Another rule of thumb is that you always want to keep it simple. What does this mean? Is that you always want to go for the easiest and the quickest solution. Do not complicate things. If it's too complicated, the solution is most likely wrong. When in doubt, search through the email history of the sender, the sender's organization, and the email subject line. Why is this important? Because, for example, when my team is asking me a question, oftentimes I have to rely on going through my email history to find the answer or going through Slack history. I don't have any magical answers that your team doesn't have. So, what I usually do is if I can't find the answer, I would ask Google and I ask ChatGPT. And again, you have access to all of these. You have your boss's email, you have access to Google, you have access to Slack, and you have access to ChatGPT. The last thing you want is to ask the client and your boss where you can find the answers when we can find the answers ourselves. And when booking an event, please double check if it's virtual or in person, because nowadays there's still a lot of virtual events. So you want to make sure if it's in person, you have to allocate enough travel time and parking time for each leg of the journey so we can avoid booking back to back. If it's virtual and if there's two meetings back to back, check with your boss whether or not they prefer a small window of a break between the meetings. Calendar management. When you're booking a multi-day event, please indicate clearly the start time and the end time for each event, because a lot of the times they're actually different. So don't be lazy and select all 3 days. And always add everything your boss needs to the event in the event itself. For example, the location, the tickets, the different parties attending the event. If you think your boss needs to meet somebody, include it in the calendar. Also ask your boss if your boss would like the calendar to be color coded. It might be a lot easier to view upon a quick glance. Some people prefer to keep it personal versus professional or break them up into different clients. Make sure you check with your boss on what they prefer. And when you're flagging emails for your boss to respond, include your recommendations. The last thing you want to do is copy and paste the exact email as a screenshot into Asana or other project management tools, because that's no help to anybody. Your boss can go into the email themselves and find the emails themselves. So what you want to do is always go above and beyond and actually offer your recommendations after you've digested the email. And when there are documents needing to be reviewed, ask your boss if she prefer that you do the first rounds of edits and you pass it on to your boss to do the second round. And before you ask your boss to sign any of the amendments, double check that all the change requests are actually made by the clients. And when you're responding to emails, it's important to break up the email into sections where possible, so the emails are easier for the other party to read and digest. And don't live in your Slack or emails. Dedicate your time to check. For example, from top of the hour to 20 past every hour or similar. For example, every morning you'd be checking your emails from 9 o'clock to 9:20, 10 o'clock to 10:20, 11 o'clock to 11:20. So that way you're not living in your emails or a Slack, so you can actually do some deep work. And always tailor your language to match the tone of the sender to maintain professionalism. If you're dealing with someone who's extremely professional, you want to use a similar language. But if you're dealing with, let's say, influencers who are extremely relaxed, you might want to reflect that as well. They tend to like to sign off their emails with a little X. So also incorporate automated templates for common responses to save time without sacrificing quality. Until next time, but if you do have any questions, I love to hear from you. And if you want to join any of my team's morning meetings, send me a message and we're more than happy to have you.